So we used to work together. Monica still has that job. So she still works in an office. She works remotely from our house. And I finally left and became a tour guide, which I'd been wanting to do for at least a decade since I found out it was a viable career option. And I just had to save up the vacation time and the money in order to be able to do that. So now that I'm a tour guide, I am gone for about 4 months in the spring. I go to Washington, D.C. And then in the fall, I leave and I go to New England and I do tours in New England. So where we are right now, which is now late November, just after Thanksgiving, because we originally wanted to do this at the beginning of the month and it didn't work out because our lives are very busy. So where we are is I finally got back in mid-October from doing tours, and then that's like our settling in phase, because when I'm back from tours for the next roughly 4 months, we've got, we live together. I mean, we live together all the time, but we get used to being back in the same place together at the same time. Because while I'm gone, Monica gets used to being in the house alone. I get used to doing my own thing, not in the house. So we're in the settling in phase where we're getting used to being domestic and coexisting and all of that kind of stuff. So we wanted to make a video that kind of showed our everyday life when we're in this phase before March hits and I've got to get ready to leave again. So
it makes it, I was just going to say, like, the domestic part is kind of difficult because we're different. I mean, we're different in a lot of ways.
So we just want to show you some scenes of our daily life and kind of show you what it looks like, how our day-to-day looks and what we get up to when we're not traveling, which was the main reason that we made this YouTube channel, because we wanted to show you traveling and we didn't see a lot of people that looked like we do. So we kind of left it open-ended so that we could do different things with the channel. But the main thing that we wanted to do when we started was talk about travel. But since we're not always traveling, we figured that we would show you some other things as well. It turns out people do like to watch YouTube videos of other people just living their lives or doing random things. So this video will be just us living our lives and settling back into domesticity. We will go into what a day in our life looks like, or a couple of days in our lives, or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Enjoy. Right?
Yeah, I hope. Or else why the fuck are you watching this video if you're just hate watching it? I've never
Some
done
people
that.
might be hate watching
I
it.
do it sometimes.
You hate watch stuff?
I hate it sometimes.
On a weekday morning, Monica wakes up at 6:30 a.m. and heads upstairs for work. She works from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. on most days. Sometimes she has to work a little bit later, and she comes down sporadically for tea or snacks or lunch or to use the restroom, so I do see her throughout the day. During tour season, I get very little sleep. My tour days are extremely long and I've never been an early bird, so even when I have to wake up at 6 a.m., I'm still going to bed late. So that means that when it's not tour season, I give myself the luxury of sleeping until my body wakes me up. Most days that's about 10 a.m. because my ideal go into bed time is about 2 a.m. So I wake up and I start my skincare routine, which is very simple. It's really just putting on some toner or micellar water and then some moisturizer for the day. Here's one of those rare moments when Monica and I are both downstairs at the same time. She's getting some tea and I'm making some coffee. I used to have a 1-cup coffee machine, but it broke, and I got sick of throwing plastic contraptions away, so now I just use a French press. It's a nice morning ritual, and there's no waste. Speaking of no waste, you'll see piles of dishes in the kitchen and hear us talking about time spent in there, but it's because we don't have a dishwasher and we don't use disposables, so a lot of our time is spent in the kitchen. The tiny, tiny kitchen. Slow mornings are my absolute favorite. I like to get up slowly, get a nice hot beverage, and just exist. Sometimes I might read, sometimes I might watch TV, sometimes I scroll on my phone, or just stare into nothing. Or sometimes I will stand at the window and watch my birds. More on my birds later. So I just ease into the day. Once I'm feeling more awake, I will pick up some crochet. I'm usually working on something, whether it's for a commission or just for future markets. If you're wondering, these hats are what I was making. Eventually, I do get a little bit hungry, so this day I decided I was going to make myself a full breakfast with eggs and avocado toast, but most of the time I just heat up any random leftovers that are in the refrigerator. Monica comes down for lunch whenever she has a moment, and she usually sits quietly and reads and scrolls on her phone. This week just so happened to be a week when I was redoing my hair color, so here I am spending some time during the day just refreshing my hair. When Monica is done with work, I rejoice because I finally have somebody to talk to. So we do random errands, or we clean the house, or we go on a walk. We make dinner every evening and clean up the dishes. So here is a smattering of different things that we got up to throughout the entire week. We're gonna start with one of our cool winter walks that we took. Just some deer having some snacks right by the trail.
Do you put out like birdseed or something?
I think they must have. Sometimes when it's 24 degrees and you're going to the store, where is Monica? She's there. You don't bother with coats on the way into the store.
You really regret it right now.
You just wear your thermal and it's fine. Hi.
Hi.
It's a different day, but on a regular day, on a regular weekday when I'm home, often we have to run errands because we need groceries. And today we just so happen to need yarn. So we're going into the yarn store first and then we're gonna get some groceries.
Yeah, a snowstorm is coming. The winter weather advisory starts at 1 a.m. and I am ridiculous. So I was like, no, we have to go today. So yeah, groceries for some staples and maybe some fun things. And you know, what else do you need during a blizzard other than yarn?
Just yarn.
Yeah.
And we're set.
Yeah.
All right,
we'll see what
go.
else we end up getting.
Okay, bye. Now we're braving Trader Joe's. Now it's time for Aldi. This week just so happened to include a family dinner at my mom's house. We didn't show more of errands day, but that's because by the time we got groceries, we were just in the thick of getting groceries and putting them away once we got home and having something to eat. But on a regular night when we cook, this is what it looks like. We finish cooking, the kitchen is usually a disaster, and I didn't film any of cooking because I'm usually just so busy cooking. And then we sit and we eat together, and then we clean up for another hour in the kitchen before we're finally able to go sit down and enjoy the evening. On this evening, I'm editing and Monica's playing a video game, but on a lot of evenings we are on our computers doing whatever we need to do, or we're just relaxing and watching TV. Sometimes we head to bed separately because Monica generally prefers an earlier bedtime than I'm ready for, but there are some nights when I feel like just going to bed at the same time, and I will just sit up and read or listen to a podcast after Monica goes to sleep. So here's one of those nights when we actually went to bed at the same time. We do a bit of reading before we fall asleep, and then we call it a night. Also, if you haven't seen or tried these glasses, they are amazing for saving your neck since we're always bent over and looking at our phones. As promised, here's that bird content. I've become a bird and plant person, so when my feeders are low, I go out and make sure my feathered friends have some food. Then I can watch them from the kitchen window every time I refill my drink throughout the day or when I'm prepping dinner and doing dishes. Thank you for spending some time with us and seeing how we pass our days together. Pretty soon, Chris will be heading back to DC for work and saying goodbye to this cozy winter home life. We'll be taking advantage of this season as much as possible, and we hope you will too. If you enjoy seeing what we're up to, click that thumbs up and subscribe to our channel to see more. Take care!